There's a whole lot of America between San Francisco and New York City. Need for Speed, the run's greatest achievement, is the way it sometimes captures the thrill of hitting the open road and experiencing the varied beauty of the American landscape. The mountains and the prairies, the skyscrapers and the farmlands. Unfortunately, issues crop up that sap some momentum from your cross-country trek, but the run spends enough time doing what it does best to remain an enjoyable journey.
The race is from San Fran to New York. The best racers ever assembled. The purse is $25 million.
You play as Jack Rourke, a racer who needs to win a cross-country street race to get out of trouble with the mob. Sadly, the run's attempts to make you care about Jack's plight fall flat. But thankfully, after an early cutscene that sets up the premise, the game spends very little time with its storytelling and lets you focus on driving. Racing in the run feels good. The range of vehicles includes sports cars that respond tightly to your every command, and muscle cars that are tough to tame, but regardless of what you're driving, the run is about balancing speed with control. Sure, you've got highways on which you can gun the throttle and cruise at top speed, but more often than not, you're on stretches of road with some tricky turns. Using your brakes effectively, maintaining a smart racing line, and exiting turns fast is crucial to achieving a good time, and it's exhilarating to put these powerful cars through their paces. Jack's got to make the entire drive from San Francisco to New York, but of course you're only responsible for driving a few hundred miles of that journey. The run keeps the pressure on in each event by requiring you to meet one of a few objectives. Sometimes, you need to pass a certain number of other racers before reaching the finish line. In other events, called battle races, you also need to pass opponents, but here you need to defeat them one at a time, being ahead of one when a timer reaches 0 and then moving on to the next. And some events are checkpoint races, just you against the clock. Unfortunately, as exciting as the racing can be, it's too often interrupted. When you wreck or go too far off the road, you're reset to the last checkpoint you passed, and these resets can take several seconds. In some places, you can go off-road without penalty. In others, even a slight deviation from the course immediately triggers a reset. These interruptions, coupled with the long load times for resets and before races, sap some of the speed from a game that's all about forward momentum. Other interruptions come in the form of the run's on-foot sequences. These extended QuickTime events make up a very small part of the game, which is good because they're not much fun. There are also a few sections of the run where you need to worry more about avoiding gunfire from mafia cars and helicopters than about racing effectively. These attempts to bring some Hollywood excitement to the run backfire. It's just not enjoyable swerving constantly to avoid the attacks of your mob pursuers. Your total clocked competitive time driving coast to coast will probably be a little over 2 hours, though that doesn't factor in checkpoint resets and events you fail and need to redo. The auto log makes this process competitive, constantly showing you how you're stacking up against your friends. There's some fun in returning to the run to improve your time, but the game doesn't make the process a welcoming one. You can't jump to individual events. Rather, you need to replay entire stages, which are collections of anywhere from 4 to 7 events. This means you also need to replay any on-foot sequences and rewatch any cutscenes that happen in that stage. It's enough to make the prospect of hitting the road again a lot less attractive. Racing online against human opponents is more exciting than revisiting the single-player experience. Online races are divided into playlists, centered around things like urban street racing and muscle car battles, so you can easily jump right into the kind of action you want. Flaws do mar the experience. Your opponent's cars sometimes teleport around the road a bit or appear to fly through the air unrealistically, but it's nonetheless satisfying to leave human players in your dust. It's a shame that the run doesn't deliver more fully on the potential of its premise. But the good moments, the moments when you put the pedal to the metal on a desert straightaway or nail a hairpin turn on a twisty mountain road, make this a road trip worth taking.
Jack, you still with me?
You know me better than that, Sam.
Okay, final push to New York. It's time to move to the front.